Welcome to Pet's Joy Moments. Today, we're bringing you a magical collection of the best 10 animal fairy tales for bedtime stories. These delightful tales are filled with adventurous animals, heartwarming moments, and valuable lessons your little ones will cherish. Whether it's a clever fox or a brave lion, these stories will spark your child's imagination and fill their dreams with magic. So grab your favorite blanket, snuggle up, and let these enchanting stories create the perfect ending to your child's day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more wonderful moments with your pets and amazing stories. The Golden Fish and the Wish. Once upon a time, an old fisherman lived in a small hut by the sea. Every day he went fishing but only caught a few small fish. One day, he pulled up his net and discovered a shimmering golden fish, unlike any he had ever seen before. "Old fisherman, please spare my life, and I will grant you one wish." "A talking fish? Well, I am not greedy. I only wish to return home safely." "You are kind-hearted. Go home, and you shall see a miracle." When the old fisherman returned home, he was astonished to see that his small hut had turned into a cozy wooden house. However, his wife, a greedy woman, was not satisfied. "Just a wooden house? Go back to the golden fish and ask for a castle." "But we already have a better home." "No, I want another wish." Reluctantly, the old fisherman went back to the sea and called for the golden fish. The fish granted the wish. When the fisherman returned, he saw that his wife had become a queen, living in a magnificent castle. "Do we really need a castle?" "Not enough. I want to be the ruler of the entire kingdom." Still unsatisfied, the fisherman's wife demanded one last wish, to become the most powerful queen in the world. When the old fisherman returned to the sea, the sky turned dark and the waves roared. "Golden fish, greed knows no bounds. It will never be satisfied. Please forgive us. We have been too greedy. Go home now." When the old fisherman returned home, the grand castle was gone. His wife sat in front of their old hut, weeping. They had lost everything because of greed. "We had everything, but lost it all because we wanted too much. If only I had known when to stop." Ending message. The lesson of this story is to be content with what we have. Greed can make us lose everything. Story: The Tortoise and the Flock of Birds. Deep in a lush green forest, a wise old tortoise lived near a sparkling river. Though slow, he always dreamed of soaring through the sky like the birds above. "If only I could see the world from above, it must be so beautiful." Birds. "You fly? That's impossible." One day, two kind birds decided to help the tortoise. They brought a strong stick and had an idea. Bird 1. "Hold on to this stick with your mouth and we'll carry you into the sky." "Really? I'll do my best to hold on." Bird 2. "But remember, don't speak or you'll fall." The birds flapped their wings, lifting the tortoise into the sky. He soared above the trees, marveling at the vast world below. "This is incredible. The world is so much bigger than I imagined." "Hold on tight, we're flying higher." As the tortoise flew, other animals on the ground noticed him. They laughed and mocked. Monkey, pointing up. "Look, a flying tortoise, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. What a strange sight. He looks ridiculous up there. Should I say something to defend myself?" The tortoise could not resist. He opened his mouth to speak and instantly he plummeted from the sky. "I am not ridiculous." Birds. "No, don't let go." The tortoise crashed into a soft patch of grass. Though bruised, he survived. He sighed, realizing his mistake. "I should have ignored their words. My impatience ruined everything. Next time, don't let others shake your confidence." ending message. And so the tortoise learned that patience and ignoring the words of mockers are the true keys to success. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Story: The Squirrel and Winter. One fine autumn day, in a lush green forest, there was a little squirrel named Squeaky. Winter was coming soon, and Squeaky knew it had to gather plenty of food to survive the cold months. Squeaky, while collecting acorns, winter will be here soon. I must prepare lots of food so I won't have to worry. Sitting on a branch. You're so hard-working, Squeaky. I'm just enjoying the autumn weather. Squeaky worked tirelessly, gathering acorns and dry leaves to stay warm. Though it was tiring, it never gave up. Winter was approaching. Squeaky, panting, continuing to work. Just a bit more, and I'll have enough food to survive the winter. Flying by, looking down. Squeaky, why are you working so hard? Autumn is beautiful. Come join me and play. One morning, as autumn was coming to an end, the flock of birds flew high, playing around in the sky. They saw Squeaky still working and began to tease it. Squeaky, why are you still working? Winter is far away. Come and play with us. I can't stop working. I need to prepare for winter. Time passed quickly and autumn came to an end. Winter arrived, bringing cold and snow to the forest. Looking out the window, finally, I have gathered enough food. Sitting in its nest, oh, it's so cold. Why didn't we prepare like Squeaky? Winter came, and Squeaky lived comfortably with all the food it had gathered. Meanwhile, the birds, though strong, struggled with the cold and hunger because they hadn't prepared. Shivering in the nest. We were wrong. Why didn't we prepare like Squeaky? Looking out the window. Hard work and preparing for the future always pay off. So, Squeaky learned that hard work and preparing for the future always lead to good results. What about you? Have you prepared for your future? Story: The Crow and the Water Jug. One hot summer day, a thirsty crow was flying across the sky. The sun beat down mercilessly and the crow's wings felt heavy. Eventually, the crow spotted a jug with a little water inside and flew down to drink. Crow, landing next to the jug. Looking inside. Ah, water, but it's too low for me to reach. How can I drink it? The crow tried to stick its beak into the jug, but it couldn't reach the water. It flapped its wings in frustration, thinking hard about what to do. Frustrated, trying to dip its beak into the jug. Why is the water so low? I can't reach it no matter how hard I try. After trying several times without success, the crow paused. Then suddenly it had an idea. It flew off, returning soon with small pebbles in its beak. Thinking to itself, if I can't drink the water, maybe I can make the water rise. I'll fill the jug with stones. The crow dropped a pebble into the jug, and as it did, the water level rose. It repeated the process over and over, dropping more pebbles into the jug. It's working! The water is rising. The crow continued to drop pebbles into the jug until the water reached the top and it was able to drink its fill. At last, the water rose high enough for the crow to drink. It took a long, satisfying sip and smiled in contentment. Drinking from the jug. It took patience and clever thinking, but now I have the water I need. The crow learned that intelligence and persistence can overcome even the most difficult challenges. Conclusion. And so, the clever crow proved that intelligence, patience, and perseverance could solve any problem, no matter how tough it seemed at first. The next time you face a challenge, remember the crow's lesson. Story: The Wolf and Its Shadow. Once upon a time, in a dense forest, there was a hungry and proud wolf. It had been roaming the woods in search of food, feeling that it deserved more than what it had. Wolf, walking through the forest with an arrogant look. I am the strongest animal in this forest. Why should I settle for scraps when I deserve the best? As the wolf walked, it saw its own shadow reflected on the ground. For a moment, the wolf paused and noticed how large and impressive its shadow looked. Looking at its shadow, amazed, "Look how big and powerful my shadow is. If I can have such a grand shadow, I must deserve even more. Why should I settle for this small piece of meat?" Driven by greed, the wolf decided to leave the small meal it had found and pursue something even better, convinced that it deserved more. "I don't want this small meal. I will find something much bigger and better for myself." As the wolf wandered deeper into the forest, it realized that there was nothing better than what it had left behind. The meal was gone, and there was no other food in sight. Wolf, looking around in panic. "Where is it? I should never have left it behind. I should have appreciated what I had." Defeated and hungry, the wolf finally returned to the spot where it had left its meal. As it looked down at the ground, it saw its shadow once again, this time a reminder of its greed. "Wolf," sighing in regret, "I was foolish. The shadow was just an illusion, and I left the real treasure behind." The wolf had learned that sometimes what we already have is the best we can get, and that greed only leads to loss. Conclusion. And so the wolf learned that the shadow it had chased was nothing but an illusion. What it truly needed was what it had already been given, and it learned to appreciate the simple things in life. Story: The Weasel and the Beehive. Deep in the forest, there lived a curious and clever weasel. One sunny day, it stumbled upon a beehive filled with golden honey. The sweet smell filled the air, and the weasel's stomach growled with hunger. Eyes wide, sniffing the air. This honey smells amazing, but I bet if I could get all of it, I'd be the happiest weasel in the forest." The weasel, driven by its greed and impatience, couldn't wait to enjoy the honey. It tried to grab as much as it could, without thinking about the bees guarding the hive. "If I take just a little more, I'll have more than enough." As the weasel greedily grabbed for the honey, the bees grew more aggressive. They swarmed around the weasel, stinging it as punishment for disturbing their hive. "Ouch, I didn't think they'd be so angry. Stay away from our hive." After a painful escape, the weasel fled into the forest, nursing its stings. It realized that its impatience and greed had led to its misfortune. Weasel, sighing in regret, "I should have been patient and waited for a safer time. I didn't need all of it at once. Now I've learned the hard way." The weasel learned that greed and impatience only lead to trouble. Sometimes waiting and being patient is the best way to get what you want, without the consequences of rushing. Looking thoughtful, "From now on, I will appreciate what I have and wait patiently for the right moment." Greed never pays off. And so, the weasel left the beehive behind, wiser and more patient than before. Conclusion. And so the weasel learned that impatience and greed can lead to harm, while patience and understanding can bring true rewards. Story: The Cat and the Rooster. In a quiet village, there lived a brave rooster who always woke up the village with his crowing at the break of dawn. One morning, a sly cat appeared, eyeing the rooster for its next meal. The rooster, sensing danger, braced himself for what was to come. Puffing up his chest, "I will protect my voice and the morning for my fellow animals. No one will stop me from crowing." Cat, slinking closer, "You'll be mine by the end of today. Your crowing will be silenced forever." The cat, with quick reflexes and quiet steps, pounced toward the rooster, but the rooster, seeing the cat's movement, leapt into the air and flew to a nearby post, out of reach of the cat's claws. "You won't escape forever. I may be a bird, but I'll fight for my freedom." The rooster knew he couldn't fly forever. He had to fight for what was right, for the peace of his fellow animals and the promise of the dawn. He called out to the cat in defiance, "Rooster, I will not let fear stop me from crowing for the new day. This is my duty." "Tut, We'll see about that. You'll regret this. As the cat advanced, the rooster flapped his wings furiously, creating a flurry of movement to distract the cat. He then made a bold move, jumping at the cat and pecking at its paws. "Rooster, you shall not take my dawn away." Cat, yowling in surprise. "Ouch, you're stronger than you look." The cat, realizing it couldn't defeat the determined rooster, slunk away into the shadows, retreating in defeat. The rooster stood tall, victorious, knowing he had fought for what was right. Proudly, "The dawn is mine to greet, and I'll protect it forever. I will not forget this, rooster." The rooster showed great courage by standing up for what was right. He didn't let fear or threats stop him from doing his duty, and in the end he proved that bravery and conviction will always prevail. Sometimes, standing up for what's right is the hardest thing, but it's always worth it. And so, the rooster continued to greet each new day with his powerful crow, knowing that courage and honor would guide him. Conclusion. And so, the rooster's courage and determination remind us that standing up for what's right is never easy, but it is always worth the fight. Story: The Heron and the Crab. In a lush, peaceful marshland, a heron wandered near the shore, looking for his next meal. He spotted a crab walking along the beach and saw an opportunity. The heron was clever, but his heart was full of greed. "Hello, little crab. I see you're struggling to get to the deeper waters. If you let me carry you, I'll take you to a place with plenty of food." Curious. "Really? How kind of you. I would love to get there, but I'm not sure if I should trust you." The crab, although tempted by the heron's offer, hesitated. He had heard of the heron's cunning ways and wasn't sure if he could trust him. But the heron was persistent. Hare, with a smooth, persuasive tone, "I understand your doubts, but you don't have to walk all the way. I'm offering to help you, and I promise no harm will come to you." Crab, I suppose it would be easier. Maybe I should trust him." With the crab reluctantly agreeing, the heron scooped him up on his back. But as they flew over the water, the heron's true intentions began to show. The heron was not taking the crab to a place of food. He was planning to eat him instead. "Heron, this is the perfect opportunity for me. I'll enjoy a nice feast today." Horrified, realizing the truth. "Wait, you tricked me." The crab, though frightened, wasn't about to give up without a fight. He quickly devised a plan. As they flew over a cliff, the crab pretended to faint, causing the heron to lower its guard. "Crab, I feel faint. Please let me rest for just a moment." "I suppose a brief rest wouldn't hurt." Just as the heron began to relax, the crab quickly latched onto the heron's neck with its powerful pincers, forcing the heron to drop him into the water. The crab had turned the tables. Shouting triumphantly, "You may be clever, but not clever enough. Take that, heron. No, let go of me." With a final twist, the heron was forced to let go and dive into the water to escape the crab's grasp. The greedy heron, who sought to deceive, had now learned the price of his actions. Crab, greed leads to downfall, heron. You'll think twice before deceiving others again. I will never be so greedy again. Conclusion. The heron's greed and deception led to his downfall, while the crab's cleverness and integrity saved him. Let this story remind us that greed and dishonesty can never be the right path. Honesty and wisdom will always lead to victory. Story: The Bear and the Apple Tree. In a forest full of towering trees and blooming flowers, a young bear wandered through the woods, hungry and tired. His belly grumbled as he searched for food, but luck seemed to be on his side when he stumbled upon a lush apple tree laden with ripe fruit. "Oh, how I wish I could find some food. I am so hungry." "Why don't you rest here, little bear? I have plenty of apples to share." The bear eagerly picked an apple from the tree and took a bite. The taste was sweet and refreshing. He ate several apples, feeling his hunger fade and his energy return. He was so grateful to the apple tree for the delicious food. With satisfaction, "These apples are so sweet. Thank you, kind apple tree. I feel much better now." With a warm tone, "You are very welcome, little bear. I am happy to share my apples with you." As the day went on, the bear and the apple tree shared stories. The bear learned that the apple tree had been standing in the forest for many years, providing apples to all the creatures who passed by. The bear felt a deep sense of gratitude for the tree's kindness. Looking at the tree with admiration, "You've been so generous to all the animals. You've given so much, and yet you ask for nothing in return." With a gentle smile, "I am simply happy to share what I have. The joy of giving makes me feel fulfilled." As the sun began to set, the bear stood up, feeling a deep sense of appreciation for the tree. He knew that he needed to return the kindness that had been shown to him. The bear made a promise to the apple tree. "Bear, with determination, I will take care of you, dear apple tree. I will make sure no harm comes to you, and I'll spread your kindness to others." "Thank you, little bear. Your promise is all I need. Just remember, kindness always returns." The years passed and the bear kept his promise. He returned to the apple tree every year, protecting it from harm and making sure it was well cared for. The bear learned that kindness is not just about receiving, but also about giving back. "Thank you for everything, apple tree. You've taught me that kindness once shared grows into something beautiful." With a gentle, proud tone, "And you've learned well, dear bear. May your kindness continue to grow, just like my apples." Conclusion: the bear and the apple tree's bond became a symbol of kindness and gratitude in the forest. They both learned that the best gifts are those shared freely, and that giving back is what keeps the circle of kindness alive. Story: The Deer and Its Antlers. In the heart of a vast forest, a young deer stood before a shimmering lake, staring at its reflection. It was a beautiful deer with elegant legs and a sleek coat, but what it was most proud of were its large, majestic antlers. Deer, admiring itself in the water with a smug expression. "Look at these antlers. They're so magnificent. They're what make me truly special." Reflection in the water. "But remember, my friend, beauty and pride come from within." As the deer walked through the forest, it met a wise owl perched on a branch. The owl, with its glowing amber eyes, noticed how the deer proudly displayed its antlers and seemed lost in self-admiration. "Owl, you seem proud of your antlers, young deer, but do you know what they truly represent? They are a symbol of my strength and beauty. They make me feel powerful and unique." True strength comes from within, my friend. Antlers may impress others, but they don't define your worth. After the encounter with the owl, the deer began to feel conflicted. As the days passed, it wondered if there was more to its value than just its antlers. It met other animals in the forest, and while its antlers were admired, it started to realize that not everyone was drawn to them. To itself, what if my true worth isn't just in my antlers? What if it's something deeper? You're a kind and gentle soul, dear deer. Your beauty lies in your spirit. Pauses, looking thoughtfully. I never realized that. Maybe I've been focusing on the wrong things. One day, while wandering near a stream, the deer noticed its reflection again. But this time, it didn't just focus on the antlers. It looked deeper, at its eyes, its gentle nature, and the way it moved through the world. The deer finally understood the lesson the owl had shared. "Deer," smiling gently, speaking to its reflection, "I see now that I am more than my antlers. My true worth is in my kindness, my strength of heart, and the way I share love with others. Reflection in the water. That's right, dear friend. Your heart is your true crown. The deer returned to the forest, not with pride in its antlers, but with pride in who it was. It now understood that true beauty came from within and that its kindness, humility, and heart were what made it truly special. Dear happily to the owl, I've learned the most important lesson. My worth isn't in what I wear or how I look, but in how I treat others and myself. You have learned well, young one, and now you shine even brighter. Conclusion. The deer learned that true worth lies not in appearances, but in the goodness within. Its antlers were still beautiful, but now the deer knew that it was kindness, humility, and love that made it truly shine. Thank you for joining us on this magical adventure at Pet's Joy Moments. We hope these 10 animal fairy tales brought joy and wonder to your child's bedtime. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales and fun moments with your favorite furry friends. Keep the magic alive, and we'll see you next time for more unforgettable stories and delightful pets. Sweet dreams, and good night.